Power stations are becoming a really cool piece of emerging technology. They can of course replace a gas generator for off-grid applications, or simply act as a charging station that can double as a battery backup in the event of a power outage. With my personal unit, that's how I use it. It lives on my desk and it's my universal charger. I really like how on the screen I can monitor the charging speed via the watts in and out of the device. And just last month when we got hit by that record solar flare, I knew that in the event of a power outage, I had a way to generate my own power, and that was pretty nice. Now these devices are relatively new to the market and they started out pretty small, essentially souped up versions of those old USB power banks. You can still buy a smaller version like this, it's more affordable, but the industry has been trending to larger and more feature-packed options. For example, we have units like this now that are a couple $1,000s. They have expandable battery pack options and you can plug them directly into the electrical system of your house. And that gives you the flexibility to choose to use the grid power or battery power. And I really like this idea. I think we're moving in the direction of the power grid becoming more decentralized, with people having their own setups like this, where they have a level of independence and ability to generate their own power separate from the grid. So I'm very excited to see how this industry evolves in the near future. But there is a big issue these devices have to overcome, and that's the sheer price of batteries. And this is an issue that plagues all large electronic devices, including things like electric vehicles. And it's the reason why America still to this day does not have a single affordable EV for sale. Batteries just cost a lot of money. Now, luckily this has been trending downward in the right direction. In 2023, the cost per kilowatt hour of battery hit an all-time low of $139. So that's getting better, but we still have a long way to go. And the other issue with batteries is the energy density. You need a shockingly large amount of battery to store just a modest amount of power. Coming back to my personal power station, the capacity here is mid-range 1,100 watt hours, and the watt hour rating simply states how many watts the battery can supply for 1 hour of time. My laptop charger pulls about 150 watts. So if we take the total watt hour capacity, 1,100, divided by the 150 watts, that's a runtime of just 7.3 hours. And this is a 500 watt heater, and it's essentially as small as it gets for electric heaters. And this battery pack can only keep this thing running for just over 2 hours. Yeah, this little 500 watt heater can completely drain this huge battery from 100% to 0 in just over 2 hours. In contrast, a gallon of atmosphere poisoning gasoline contains the equivalent of roughly 30,000 watt hours of energy. And I think that's why people assume that battery tech is way better than it actually is. There's a huge gap between batteries and fossil fuels, unfortunately. But again, things are trending in a positive direction. Governments are investing a lot in battery supply chains. And also keep in mind that recharging a battery and the ongoing electricity cost is a lot cheaper than buying more gasoline. And when you factor in the externalities of climate change, there's really no competition. But that doesn't change the fact that today, when you go to buy a device with a large battery, it's going to cost a lot of money. Now, there is one ingenious solution or workaround to this problem, and that's to have modular battery packs that can be used across multiple devices, which essentially decreases the battery cost per device. Because after all, if you can have one battery that's shared across 10 devices, that's going to be more cost efficient. A good example of this currently are power tools. They have modular batteries that are compatible with often hundreds of different devices. And it's just way more practical to do it this way versus each tool having its own proprietary built-in battery. And I saw that Bluetti, one of the top names in the power station market, just launched a new line of power stations with modular swappable battery packs. Each pack here is 716 watt hours, and there's currently 2 devices that are compatible with them: a power station body and a refrigerator. And for all the reasons stated above, I think this is a good move given the price of batteries currently. The big issue I see with this is the lack of devices that can take advantage of this modularity. For this to truly work, you need to be like the power tools, that there's hundreds of devices that can all use the same battery, or have a few big ticket items that can benefit from this battery. The current power station and the fridge definitely fall into this category, but other devices like an electric scooter, maybe an electric bike, would really add value to this ecosystem. So it's a promising piece of technology. I'll leave relative links below the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.